Yeah, just because it's so finicky and we haven't actually done this.
Yeah, no worries. Hello, guys. I'm your instructor.
It appears that it is. I see you on the Facebook page.
Hey!
That's exciting.
Should I show off any of my other talents?
Sure.
Art, ready? I'm double jointed, so I have what I call my finger.
That's a great one.
Isn't that yucky? Hey, Facebook fam. Oh no.
There are 3 people watching.
Nice.
Which is one more than the 2 of us. So
that's pretty impressive. I think cool. Well, we still have 5 minutes, so don't feel pressured who's watching to be participating yet, but feel free to gather materials together. You will need 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. You will need your hands and fingers. You will need scissors and a pencil or something else like that to keep track of your stuff. So as long as you have those gathered together, please feel free to sit back and relax before we get started.
I'm very excited because I didn't get to go to this one the last time that we did it.
I know, it's really a fun one.
It is very fun.
I'm excited. Yeah, last time we had laser cut things and it was a whole thing, but you know what? Here we are.
We can do it again sometime.
Yeah, we'll have to. It was really fun because they got to hand bind little like journals, like laser cut journals that they got to do, but I think the zine is equally as fun. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
I love these little zines. I've done handouts as them before too for the library to they can like stand up on the table about library programs.
Aww.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
Little
books. They're cute, they're easy, and I think they're a good way of keeping track of things. So I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, when I was in library school, we all made these for like every single project because they taught us how to do them and we're like, these are great and we love them.
We're going to do them every single time for everything.
We did them a lot. And then because Simmons has a zine library, like a pretty good sized zine collection, and it's very, very cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's very fun. So we were all very into it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering how long we should wait after 2 o'clock too, do you think, to get started?
Maybe 5 minutes. Whatever you feel like makes the most sense, I think is fine.
Yeah, I think let's wait 5 minutes after 2 o'clock and see, but we can start to chat.
Hi there.
Hello. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. I can, oh, no, now I'm here.
Wow.
Hi.
Hello.
We'll try to keep us busy today for a couple of minutes. Let's have a look if it works.
Yeah.
Oh, fun. Well, thank you so much for joining. I'm excited.
They all want to have some supplies.
Perfect. We should all have our piece of white 8.5 by 11 paper. Perfect.
Yes.
You guys have, ladies and gentlemen, a little pencil or pen.
A pencil, yes.
A pair of scissors.
And something to draw. Let's have a look. Pencil. I need this.
Yay! Perfect. So I think we're going to wait another 5 minutes before we really get started. So if you guys want to just hang out for a little bit, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask. My name's Rebecca, and I'm an instructor from the Makery in Brookline, and we work with the Brookline Public Library to offer programming.
Okay.
What are your names?
We have home. We have at home. She just turned 6. And she's Max. She's 3.
I'm Max.
And we love to do some kind of stuff. We do a lot of things, but we have never done something like a board game before. So we think probably it's a nice opportunity.
We're board game fans.
Yes. I have to translate a little bit for the kids, since we speak in German as well. But you don't understand it. So go get it.
Nice. Awesome.
Noch ein bisschen Abstand, aber
So I think the easiest way to do this is going to be to have everybody, for the most part, because your mouse over the Zoom screen, it'll have what says mute on the lower left-hand corner. So just press that mute button, and then if you have a question, you're welcome to ask the question either by unmuting and asking the question out loud, or there's a little chat in the bottom, and you type in your question or anything like that. We'll hear for everybody to hear each other. Sound good? So we will get started in another probably 5 minutes or so. I just want to make sure, because this is all so new for all of us, I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to really get together and have all of their stuff and, you know, knows how to log in and stuff like that. So I don't want anyone to feel like they're missing something because they weren't here perfectly on time. So figuring this out. What's giggling? Oh man. Alrighty. So I'll be working from 2 different windows. I'm going to be working from this one that you can see me from the front. And I'm also going to be working, I don't know if you guys can see this. And once I start kind of working down here, I'll be working from this one. So it says board game design. So if you see that window as well, that's the one that's kind of a top view looking down so that you guys can follow along with my hands as I do things. Ta-da! So I'll be able to sort of switch back and forth between those two depending on what's important for you guys to see. But you can still see me up here just in case. So again, if you have any questions or concerns or you need any clarifications, feel free to unmute yourself, be vocal, ask me a question. If you don't feel comfortable asking a question on video, There's a chat function as well, and that's right on the bottom, and you can type in.
Wow.
All right. So I'm going to do a quick thumbs up. Is everybody ready to get started? Excellent. Is that Graciela? I might. Okay. So, welcome. We're going to be doing board game design today, which I'm really excited about. So, the point of board games is to have fun, but there's so much more that goes into them besides just having fun. So, you have to think a little bit about creating a theme. You have to think about how do the players interact with each other? How do they interact with the board? What different elements does the game have to have? So those elements could be cards. Those elements could be little pieces that move around on the board. So you have to start to think about how all of these things come together to create a good board game, okay? So what we're gonna start out by doing is I'm gonna switch to this downward facing view so that I can sort of walk you guys through. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to make a little booklet. That's why you have your paper, that's why you have your scissors, and you guys are gonna get to use this little booklet to plan your dream board game with all of its different elements, all of its different ways that you start, ways that you finish, characters, stuff like that, okay? So we're gonna start by making this, and then I'm gonna get into how you go about thinking about how to design your board game, okay? So you're gonna start with one piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. This can be a blank piece of paper. It could also be a piece of colored paper or construction paper if you kind of want to get a little funky with it. But we're going to be adding different colors and stuff like that to this paper as well. So you can start by lengthwise. You want to fold the paper in half. So I call this a hot dog fold, because it kind of looks like you're turning the paper into a hot dog bun. So the better you can do at lining up these edges, the better your zine is going to be. So don't feel like you have to rush through this part. We're taking our time. We want to make this as exciting and good as we possibly can. So come down to the center and you're going to crease that center fold, okay? So you should have something that kind of looks like you closed a book. And when you're ready and finished, you can either type ready in the chat, you can turn off the mute and you can say I'm ready, or you can go ahead on video and put your finger on your nose so that I can see that everybody is ready and on the same step. I don't want anybody to feel rushed. Are you guys ready? You can put your fingers on your nose if you're ready for the next step. Ah, nice. All right, so then you're gonna unfold that piece of paper, okay? So you'll notice you have a crease going down the center. Now you're gonna do a fold that I call the hamburger fold. So that's the top of this to the bottom of this. And it's called a hamburger fold because it's kind of like you're doing a chubbier fold than the hot dog fold. So you want to fold top to bottom. And again, you want to make sure that all of those corners are lined up super well so that you have a really good zine at the end. You can go ahead and fold that. So again, you can tell me that you're ready either by commenting in the chat, by turning off your mute, or by putting your finger on your nose if you're on video, okay? So you just did a hamburger fold, folded this right here in half. Awesome. So now you're going to unfold that as well. So you'll see you have a crease that comes down this center, and splits the page into 4 different pieces. So now you're going to take your piece of paper and you're actually going to turn it over. So it's kind of like, I call this the tent. So the fold kind of pushes the paper up a little bit, okay? So then you're going to take this side and you're going to fold this edge to the center crease. So that looks like this. So right to that center crease. You don't want to go too far past it, just right to that center. And crease. Okay. So now you have this little flap that was folded to the center. You're going to do that to this other side too. So you're going to fold this top right down to that center crease as well. So I like to turn it around because it's easier for me to fold it from this side. Nice. So you kind of have a little, starting to look like this little book that you open up and there's going to be this whole world of adventures inside of it. Okay? So it should look something like this right now. Again, if you have any questions or you need me to slow down because I'm moving a little bit too quickly, feel free to let me know again in the chat, turn off the mute, let me know, or give me like a little wave and I am happy to take it at your pace. This isn't for me, this is for you. And when you're done, you know what to do, my friends. Put your finger on your nose or let me know in the chat. I think we just had someone new join the chat, join our video. So hi, welcome. I want to make sure that you guys have access to how to get to the steps that we are. So if you go to the page that is the library programs page, there are 2 different PDFs that you can download. And one of them looks like this. And so you can help sort of figure out how to catch up to us where we're at, okay? But I'm gonna keep going from here for now. Okay, so for those of us who are here, can we do a quick thumbs up so I know we're all at the same step? Awesome. Okay, so now you're gonna unfold those 2 pieces like this. There's a little chat to the link to the instructions went into the little chat. So you're opening up that little booklet and you might notice that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections now that your paper has been divided into, okay? So once again, you're gonna do a hamburger fold. So turn your paper over and you're gonna follow that center crease again. So it's just like the hamburger fold, except that there are other creases that are part of it now. So you have that right in half. And now you're gonna take your handy dandy scissors. So get your scissors ready. Okay. So there are, think of it like a book, right? You just did your hamburger fold. This is the side that has the crease on it. So you want to turn your piece of paper so that that crease is pointing towards you, okay? Do you see how that little line right here goes right along and then hits the center crease? You're going to use your scissors and you're going to cut following that line until you reach that center crease. You're not going to cut all the way. You're not going to cut only halfway. you're going to cut following that line right to that center crease. Okay, so take your scissors. Right to that center. So now you'll see you kind of have this cool little blah, blah, blah thing. So it can talk to you. Hello, I'm Rebecca's board game design zine. Okay. So once you've finished with that step and you have that cut right down that center, let me know, again, either in the chat or by giving me a little wave, thumbs up. Nice. Okay, so we just had done our hamburger fold. We're gonna do our hot dog fold again. So we're gonna fold it in half like this, okay? And you might notice if you put it up, there's this little, now there's this kind of square prism thing. So you can kind of go like this. So everybody go like this and show me that they're doing this. See? So what you're going to do, nice, is you're going to squeeze those two center points together like this. So you kind of have an X. And then you're going to fold the two outside X's over the center. And you, my friend, should have a little zine. So now a little booklet that has 8 different pages in it. Okay? And this is a super neat, you're welcome to come back to this anytime you want, if you want to fold another one, or if you are just bored and really want to make something. These are really, really fun to do. So now that you've done that, you can kind of see I have my other zine here that I have created, and this is my blank one. So you're going to start, you want the binding to be on the left side and the pages to be over here. And again, if I'm moving too quickly, please feel free to let me know. Everybody moves at their own pace. I don't want to sort of jump ahead and have you miss out on something, okay? So if you feel like you want me to slow down, just let me know. So you're going to start by taking a pencil, okay? And in the top left-hand corner of that front page, I want you to write F, okay? I don't know if you can see that, but upper left-hand corner, you're going to write an F. So that stands for front. So that will be the front of your little zine journal. So for me, this is the front of my board game design journal, okay? Then I want you to open to the first page, and that's this one right here. And I want you to write a 1 on the top left-hand corner. And you'll see why this is important in a second. So you want to write a 1 on the top left-hand corner, because this is the first page of your little booklet, okay? Then I want you to write a 2 on the upper left-hand corner of the second page, okay? So you're marking that that's the second page, number 2 of your little booklet. Am I frozen? Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Welcome to Zoom, my friends. So then you can turn to the next page, hopefully, if you're following along. Technical difficulties, hold on. There we go. So the top left-hand corner of that third page, you're gonna write a 3, so you know that's your third page. I have to slow down a little bit. Yeah, so 3. Top left-hand corner, I'm gonna write 4, so I know that that's my 4th page. So I know that's my 5th page. And 6th. So that I know that's my 6th page. So face window here. Okay. And then the back is going to be marked B for back page. Okay. Nice. You guys got it? Awesome. So the reason that you did that is because I want you to go back and I want you to open up that piece of paper into a full piece of paper again. And you're going to notice that some of the numbers, like if you looked at it like this, some of the numbers are upside down and some of the numbers are right side up. This is so that when you're going in to write, it's actually much easier to write on a flat surface. So as long as you know which pages are which, and also which direction the pages are in, it's really easy to just draw or write on each of those like that, okay? So you can kind of see with my board game design zine here, if I open it up, I have all of my different board game design elements. So this is my front, my back. I have all of those different things. So it's a lot easier, again, to sort of write when you're going from that point. So what I want you to start by doing is on the first page. So whatever page it was that you marked number 1 on, at the top of that, I'm going to have you write the word theme, okay? If you can, and if not, that's totally fine. You can always draw a picture if you want to, but this is the idea of what do you want the theme or everything that your board game is based around to be. So you're going to write theme on page 1. Okay, so I'm going to do a little talking for a little bit. So in board game design, the first thing that people usually come up with is a theme. So my example of a theme would be something like pirates. Or if you've ever played the game Candyland before, the theme of the game Candyland is candy. So what that means is that all of the different things that you are designing for, so all of the cards, all of the characters, the board game is all based around that theme. So in Candyland, you have candy. So the cards are all bright and colorful. You're trying to make it to the candy castle. You're going through the lollipop forest. So all of the locations of the game, the way that the game works is all based around the theme candy, okay? So the theme can also be thought of as the genre. So that means like whatever the feel of the board game is. So maybe it's building a castle. Maybe it's princesses or dragons. Maybe it's, you know, in Monopoly, it's about getting money. It's about sort of economic simulation, stuff like that. So there are a ton of so that'll be the first thing that you think about. But before you do that, I want to take you through some of the other things that you need to think about when you're designing your board game before you decide on what your theme is, okay? So the next thing that you have to think about after your theme is what are called mechanics. So mechanics are the way that players interact with the game and interact with each other. So what that means is if I roll the dice to sort of tell me what to do, that would be a mechanic because I would be actively rolling a dice that would tell me to do something. If I took turns, that's a mechanic. So I take my turn, the next player takes their turn. Other mechanics are again, resource management. So what that sort of means is you're trying to collect a certain number of things. So a good example of that would be the game Settlers of Catan, where you're trying to collect resources that are things like, you know, wood, like stone, so that you can build things and create something else. So those are all different mechanics that you can use. And if you're looking for more mechanics, I've listed those in the PDF that you can download to the chat. So the short link will give you guys a list of that if you're interested in following along there. So the theme and the mechanics should fit really well together. That's kind of the heart of your game. So for example, if my theme was pirates, right? A good mechanic would be, I would think about, what do pirates do, right? So pirates steal things. Pirates sail on the ocean. Pirates are looking for treasure. So those are all mechanics that fit to my theme that I can start to include in my board game, okay? So don't feel like you have to be catching every single thing that I'm saying. These are all just things to think about, okay? So don't stress. So I'm gonna turn to the next page. So you have to think a little bit about game components. So what I mean by that is starting with characters. So part of the way that you can make a game fun is by creating really, really cool characters. So if you have these really cool characters, people are gonna wanna play your game. So think about the game Clue, or think about, again, Candyland is a really good example. You have, you know, all of these different cool, interesting characters. You have Colonel Mustard, you have Scarlet, you have all of these different kind of cool characters, and different people are drawn to those characters because they're really cool. They look nice, they have fun little stories behind them. So that's the first thing, is characters. The next is game locations. So as you're moving through the board, right, you want to have different locations or different areas that people feel drawn to want to go towards. So again, in Candyland, you have the licorice forest, or the lollipop forest rather. You have, you know, the, all of these different just really interesting sort of places and environments that the people are traveling through. And again, all of those should tie back to your theme. So again, if your theme is candy, those are all sort of candy-based locations. If I was doing pirates, maybe my locations would be, you know, a desert island, or, you know, a port where I'm trying to steal things from the merchants, or different things like that. The next is cards. So cards are a way of adding what's called chance to a game. So you can play a game that has strategy. Strategy is basically, you have to do one thing and know that you're doing something in order for something else to happen, and you make the choice for that thing to happen. When it's all kind of up in the air, it's chance. So if you pick a card and you draw that card, it's totally random what's going to happen. You don't have any control over what's going to happen if you pick a card. So you want to make sure that if you want some element of just, I don't really know what's going to happen, you should include cards to add that sort of level of question. Then you have game pieces. So what does your game look like? If you're doing a pirate-based game, maybe you want your pieces to have eye patches or little hooks and stuff like that, okay? Tokens are also game components. So those tokens can be money or represent some type of, you know, currency. People can trade tokens. So that's an example of that. And then you have the movement. So how do people move through your game? Do they roll a dice? Do they spin a spinner? Do they pick a card? And that's how it tells you to move. So those are all different sort of game components to start to think about, okay? Then you get into the game board, right? Oh. It's Christiana. Hello. Did I lose? Hold on, I might have lost my camera. Hold on. I lost my top camera. Hold on one sec, guys. Try this one more time. This is the excitement of a online meeting, is that you never know when technology might fail you. So give me one sec, bear with me. 360. If you want to start thinking about what you might want your theme to be and writing that on the first page of your zine where I told you to write theme, or even on a piece of paper if you don't have a theme or if you don't have your zine ready, now would be a good time to do that while I figure this out. So give me one moment, and my apologies. Let's see. And if anyone wants to share their theme that they're thinking they want to create their board game around, I'd love it if you guys would type that in the chat, which is right, if you put your mouse over the screen, it's right next to where it says screen share and it says chat. So if you want to type in your theme and let me know, I would love that. All right. Well, it seems like that may not be working for a little bit. So I'll finish it up by showing you guys on here where it's reversed, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But the idea is then you have gameplay. So how are you actually playing your game? So like step by step, what can happen on a player's turn? And how do you know when a player's turn is over? You know, these are all really important questions, okay? And then how do players know when the game is over? So what's the goal of the game? What are you trying to accomplish? And how do you know when a player has won? So that's what we're going to start to put together in our little booklet. So again, I'd like it if you guys would work on page 1 of your zine, and that has the word theme on it. On page 2 of the zine, I'm going to have you guys write something on the top of the page, and that thing is going to say mechanics. I know this is backwards, but it's going to say mechanics, and I'll show you how that's spelled. So you're going to think about what you want your theme to be. Then you're going to think about how the players interact with the board, and, oh, it's not reversed. Great, thank you. So you want to make sure that you know what are the different mechanisms? So what are the different ways that people are interacting with the board and interacting with each other? So you're going to write mechanics at the top of that. So that's on page 2. So page 1, we have theme. Page 2, we have mechanics. On the top of page 3, you're going to write game components. Game components. So again, those are things like characters or cards or locations, game pieces, different things like that. So we're going to start by writing all of these in place just so that you guys know where we are looking. And then we'll sort of go back and we can start to fill it out, okay? So game components, that's on page 3. So that means elements of a game or parts of a game. You can say I have that right here. So that's where my page 3 is, game components. Okay. On page 4 is where you can start to think about what you want your game board to look like. So where you might want your game board to start looking like. So you can start to sketch that out when you're ready. So page 4, you're going to write game board. Okay. So that's right, for me, that's this one right here. So game board, but wherever the number 4 is for you, make sure that you write it right there, okay? Oop, are you gonna join the team again? Let's see. Hey, we're joining the team again, guys, I think. There we go. You wanna try that, Christiana? Spotlight it and see. Hey, there we are. Nice. Thank you, technology. We appreciate you most of the time. So I have my game board. Then on page 5 is going to be game play. So again, this is what are sort of the cause and effect. So what happens on a turn, step by step. Okay, so you're going to write game play at the top of that. Game play. And then on that final page, you're going to write in big letters, finish. And that's where you're going to explain where or how someone finishes or wins your game. How do you know that your game is over? Okay. So once you have all of those things written out, you can turn back over and we're going to focus on page 1, which is the theme page. Okay. So I want you guys all to take a couple of minutes, if you haven't already, and write down what you want the theme of your board game to be. So again, different themes are things like pirates or medieval times or castles and princesses or under the sea. These are all really, really cool game options, okay? And themes, all of the different things that you create will be based around this theme and help feed into what's called the core engagement. So the core engagement is the root or the base of what makes people want to play your game. So if you are looking for people who love princesses, you want the core engagement there is to get people to want to play your game because they want to play with princesses. Okay, so that's the core engagement. So I'm going to leave this up for you guys for a little bit, if you can see that okay. And I just want you to take some time to think a little bit about what you want the theme of your game to be, okay? Please, if you're willing, share your theme in the chat. Again, I'd love for everybody to start to sort of see what everybody else is doing. So in your chat window, if you have an idea for what you want your theme to be, or if you're having trouble deciding what you want the theme of your board game to be, please type that in the chat and I'm happy to help you guys with that, okay? Yeah. Dogs. Oh, that's gonna be super cute. Do you have a dog? No, but do you want a dog? Probably, right? Yeah, I've always wanted a dog. I understand that. That's an awesome theme. So you can start to think about then if your theme is dogs, princess. Oh, such a good theme. So if you think about a princess or a dog, what are some things that come to mind? Like, how would you play with a dog? What are some different mechanisms that you can put it into place that would work with your game? What do you think? Cards, maybe, yeah. So a mechanic could be cards. So you could play fetch, or maybe you could have to take your dogs for a walk, different things like that. Or maybe you're throwing a tennis ball to your dog and the start is where you threw the tennis ball and the tennis finish is where the tennis ball ends up. And the dog has to kind of figure their way through all of those different things. That could be really, really fun. What are you thinking for princesses? What does your princess want to do? Oh, princess is going to wear different dresses. I bet they're going to be really, really beautiful dresses. I can already tell you're very focused. I bet you're going to draw some really beautiful characters and different princess dresses. I love that. Nice. So think about how is a character going to move in your game? So maybe you have to roll a dice, and that's how a character moves. Maybe in Candyland, for example, you pick up a card, and that card has either one square or 2 squares on it, and it has different colored squares. And you're supposed to move that number of squares to get to that place, to get to that point. So that's how you move in Candyland. That's another example. Game will be about cats trying to steal milk from the fridge. I love that. So cute. So cute. So once you've started, and don't feel rushed, I just want to make sure that everybody's moving. You can start to think about, and it's sometimes helpful actually, you go back and forth a lot when you're designing board games. So what that means is sometimes you don't know the best mechanics until you decide what characters and cards you want to do. So it's not kind of a step by step by step. You're always going to be sort of going back and forth and trying to figure out how to make everything fit together like puzzle pieces, okay? So you can start to think about your different game components. So if you want, you can start to draw out or describe characters in your game. So if you want to draw your different princess dresses, for example, or if you want to draw some of the different types of dogs that you might want to have in your game, you can start to sort of do that on these, or you can just write words if that is what works better for you, okay? So different card pieces, tokens. So I think I'm going to go ahead and share something on my screen. So you can download this PDF from the library website, which is linked right in the chat. But I'm also going to share it here. Whoops. There we go. So it should be right here. Can you guys see that okay? It should say board game design template at the top. So this has all of those different questions that will be really, really helpful for you to answer in order to make sure that your board game will work well. So I'm going to leave this up on the screen so that you guys can see. You can also download, again, this PDF by clicking on the link in the chat window, okay? So this will tell you, give you a little bit more of a guidance through these steps, particularly when we have to end this session. If you want to keep working, I want you guys to feel like you can kind of keep playing around with this without me needing to be here, okay? Because I want you guys to create some really cool board games that you get to play by yourselves, okay? I think it'll be cool. So I'll leave that up for you guys to look at if you're interested. So I'll start to do some stuff too, because you guys are inspiring me to want to make my own new board game. So I'll start to do that too. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. I think I do want to really create my pirates themed game. So I'm going to do some. And feel free if you have colored pencils or markers or anything like that, and you want to start adding some color or different things like that to what you're working on, you can totally start to do that. I'm going to grab an eraser. I'll be right back. I'm kind of faking calligraphy right now. Kind of make this look a little cooler than it did. I can't wait to see what you guys are all working on. At the end, if you feel comfortable, I'd love for everybody to be able to like hold up. Wow, wait, I can see that color. That's awesome. Look at that. I'm very impressed. Very, very nice. That's going to be such a fun game. Whoa. Nice. Wow. I'm super impressed, you guys. You're doing such a good job.
Hier machen? Ich möchte gar nicht mehr.
Nice. Nice. And then remember, it will come together like this. Like this. Close. You'll have your front. You'll have your theme. And you'll be able to keep going through like that. So I'm working on just my little, what the theme is going to be right here, which is pirates, the same as my other one. But I'll keep going through the rest of them too. I'm going to draw a skull and crossbones because that's very piratey. So again, all of my different images and stuff like that should all look like, come back and tie back into the theme of what I'm doing. So again, that theme is pirates for me. I'm gonna draw a little skull and crossbones here. Get a little creepy. How's everyone doing? We all making really cool stuff? Ooh. Can I see? Wow. I can't believe you drew that. That's beautiful. So beautiful. Wow. Princesses would be very proud. Here, I'm going to stop sharing my screen just for 1 sec. If you want me to bring that page back so that you guys can see it, just let me know, okay? I just wanted to close it so that I could make sure I wasn't missing any chats from people. All right, I need some ideas. Is anybody willing to give me some of their good ideas? Because you guys are doing such a good job. So nice. So I'm making a game, as you guys can see, about pirates. Do you guys have any other ideas for different things that pirates do, like mechanics? So far I have that pirates steal. I have that pirates sail. Does anybody want to type in the chat and tell me any other ideas for what different things that pirates do? What do pirates do? Capture people. Ooh. So they take people, yeah, they take people captive. So capture people, I'll add that in. That's a cool little one that you could do. Because they could capture people, but they could also capture ships, like other people's ships or other people's stuff that they have on their ships. So they capture. I love that. Thank you so much for that. They like gold. True. Make people walk the plank. I love that idea. Walk the plank. You're so creative. If your guys are helping me this much with my game, I bet your games are going to be 10 times more awesome. This is so much fun. Walk the plank, gather treasure. Oh, search for treasure. That's a good one. Get gold. Yeah, search for treasure. Search for treasure, yes. Such a good idea. All right, so those are some of the ways that I'm thinking about my mechanics. So before I move on with thinking about different mechanics, I'm going to go to my game components. So I'm going to start to think about what are some different famous pirates. So I think of Blackbeard. That's a famous pirate, so maybe Blackbeard can be one of my characters. Do you guys have any other name suggestions for different pirates? Here, I'm going to write characters. Blackbeard. How about, do John Silver. Captain Hook. Yes. Love that Peter Pan reference. Let's write that in. Captain Hook. Let's see, Captain Hook. Trying to think if there are any lady pirates. Let's see. And Bonnie, yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. Nice. So I want to have some lady pirates in there, make sure we have all of the genders properly represented. And Bonnie and Mary Read. So let me take a look at what some of these other game components are. So game locations. So I'm going to think about, maybe a ship. So I have some game locations. So I have on a ship, Treasure Island, maybe at port, like a merchant port, and at sea. Thinking about some of those things. So I think I'm going to do some sketches of what I might want my game pieces to look like. And I think I'm going to do that on the back. So what's the back of this thing? So I'm going to do sort of some of my sketching down on the back. So the one that's labeled, you got the front, you got the back. I'm going to work on the back. So maybe you want to do Blackbeard first as one of my characters. Let's see. So I want him to start by having maybe a hat, like a pirate hat. And maybe I want him to have a bandana, something like that over here. His face come down. Or some things pirates have. They have eye patches. We'll give them an eye patch. I might have lost my downward facing camera again. Let me give it a shot. Give me a sec. Oh, I didn't. There we go. I'm still drawing my black beard over here. Got my black beard. I'm gonna line him. How's everyone doing? We'll come doing our characters, thinking about how our game fits together, mechanics, what our cards will look like, how you win, so many different things. Give him some earrings. You guys want to see my Blackbeard character? He's not totally done and I haven't colored him in yet, but this is what he looks like. What do you guys think? Does he look piratey? Can I get an arr? Scary! Oh no! Thank you. Oh no, you're scaring me. So we only have about 10 more minutes left that I'm going to be part of this video and streaming, but I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to share. Ooh, peg leg, yes. We all want to make sure that we have a chance to share some of the stuff that we've been working on. So come to a point where you feel comfortable finishing for right now. You can keep working after the video is over, of course. But just a reminder, this is how you kind of put your zine together from working on a flat surface. You want to fold hot dog style, mush it together. You have your front, your mechanics, sorry, your theme, your mechanics, game components, game board, gameplay, finish, back. And now you can see I have my little Blackbeard drawing on the back of mine. So scary. Oh no. So I just wanted to remind you that's how you put these back together once you've sort of opened them up on the front and back. Yes, I'm going to have to draw some more characters. Yes, you're right. So I want everybody, if you guys can, to take a second to hold up the thing that you're most proud of that you got to make during this session, whether it's a drawing or a little write-up of what your different things are. And I want everyone to have the opportunity to get to look through all of those different things. So what you can do is you can, in your top right-hand corner of your Zoom page, there's a little grid and it says gallery view. So if you click on that, now everybody's piece and face, if you guys are part of this with video, is right up here. So we can all see each other's work. So again, to make the zine, you put it like this, fold it up. Nice! Beautiful. So for me, this is what I did that I'm most proud of. I did my little Blackbeard drawing. So cool. Look at you guys. Whoa. Wow. Wow. I'm super impressed. These are so cool. Are you guys going to keep working on them once this video is over so that you guys can have really cool games to play? I hope so. So one more time, I'm just going to share the link. Firstly, I'm going to share this screen. I'm going to share the link in the chat that you can get to this, which is the board game design template. So if you want to keep working on your board game after this is over, you guys can just take a look at this, and that's available on the library website. I also, if you liked making the zine, like the little booklet, and you want to make another one, and you're having trouble remembering what all of the steps are, that's also available on that library page. So I'll link that for you guys. And that is right here. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It'll help remind you what all of the different steps were. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to link that again, so you guys have really be sure that you have everything that you need to keep making your awesome board game. Okay. It was so much fun getting to hang out with you guys. Did you have fun? Again, I'm Rebecca. I'm an instructor at a place called the Brookline Makery. So we make things, but we do a ton of work with the Brookline Public Library, and I want to thank them for being so awesome and letting us do this really fun live stream thing. So thank you to Christiana. She's one of the people. Wave.
Mute myself. Hi, it was so good to have her. I'm one of the librarians with the ideaSPACE program. So we're not in our regular spot right now, but we're really excited that we got to make something with you today anyway. And we always like making stuff with the Makery. So it was so great to have Rebecca here today. And I had a lot of fun. So I hope you all did too.
Me too. All righty. Well, I think we can go ahead and call it a day for today. Thank you guys so much for joining. It was so much fun having you. Bye.